Amen. I would like to tell you about my background, about my testimony, about who I am. So, I was not raised in the church, which I do think is, to some extent, it was a disservice to me, and to some extent, I think um, it was a bonus. Let me just explain that really quick what I mean. A disservice because I had no heritage or foundation in Christ, in salvation, in the Word. So whatever um, relationship that was developed when I became of age, I sought that relationship out for myself. So that was that disservice. But the bonus was I didn't have anything that was religious that was passed down to me, that was just a way of life because of my family. When I sought out a relationship with God, I truly was seeking out a relationship with Him. It wasn't just, I wanted to find out who He truly was. So I want to tell a little bit about myself. Like I said, I was not raised in the church. My family growing up, maybe it might have been two times we saw a church, and that probably was like Easter and probably not even no Christmas. My first recollection of a Bible was a Jehovah Witness Bible, a gold children's Bible that one had dropped by my grandmother's house, and I used to look at the pictures and study the pictures because I was too young to read. But the pictures, like, they spoke to me then. Like, I really wanted to know what it was about. When I was little, I used to go in the backyard of my grandmother's house, and I would swing on the swing, and I would sing songs. I don't even know how I learned these songs. Like, Lord, I'm available to you. You gave me my hands to reach out to man, to show them your love and your perfect plan. I would be riding on the swing and singing little songs like that. Don't know how they came. It had to be, I guess, maybe Holy Spirit, or maybe I heard them one time and just remembered them and they stuck with me. But I say all of that to say, yeah, there was no heritage passed down to me. My grandparents, they played church music on Sunday. So, I mean, I heard, I'm going up to yonder, I'm coming up on the rough side of the mountain, songs like that. But I didn't have the word given to me. When I was, I would say maybe around 12 years old, I went to my mother and I asked her, I said, why don't we go to church? And she she was like, I don't know. And so I was like, well, I want to go to church, take me to church. So we went to the church that was around our house. And when we went in, I didn't know anything about denominations back then. So when we went in, it was, I know now it was a Lutheran church. When we went into the church, it was all Caucasian people. So we walked in the church, and I'm like so geek, like ready to get to know about God, get to know about Jesus. And so we walk in, and as we're sitting down, a lady comes over. She's like, yeah, you all might be comfortable somewhere else. And I'm like, no, this seat is fine. And she's like, no, I mean, it's somewhere else outside of this church. And they put us out of the church. I didn't comprehend that. I was like really perplexed by that. Like, how, this is God's house. Like, how can you put a person out of God's house? That's what I was wondering. Like, how can you put a person out of God's house? And so I even asked my mother, like, what was that? And she's like, well, they want us to go to a black church. They don't want us there. They don't want our race there. So I really was disheartened by that. Like, really, just really discouraged. I was not discouraged about my seek for God. I was discouraged about how people who were supposed to represent God carried themselves. It never affected me in the sense of this is how God is. It literally affected me of this is how cruel people are that don't understand, but portray as though they're serving God. So I mean, it really was hurtful to me then. After that, I mean, my direction was I really didn't have any direction. I sought for a relationship with God, but I didn't have any direction. When I reached out to get the direction, um, spiritually, I was, cast out. And so at that time, I didn't have enough determination to continue seeking.